Knowing who you're dealing with is more important now than ever, wouldn't you say? I mean, especially when business is going global.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The stakes are higher than ever.
And today we're looking at how INSIC is trying to tackle that challenge with a tool they call the Sanctions Listen Check.
Yeah.
It helps businesses figure out, instantly if a potential customer or client is on one of those massive global sanctions or embargo lists.
Right. Yeah, those lists are incredibly important. They come from all sorts of organizations like the UN Security Council, the EU.
Yeah, exactly. So many different
It
sources.
can be really hard to keep track of them all.
Right. Which is why a tool like this is potentially so important. And that's what we're going to look at today.
Absolutely. So how does this thing actually work? How do you use the sanctions listen check?
Well, it sounds pretty straightforward. You just plug in the name and date of birth of the person you're checking.
Okay.
And the system does the rest, searches through all those databases in real time.
And it's designed for checking individuals specifically, right? Not companies or organizations.
Right, just natural persons.
Interesting. So you're not constantly running checks on everyone, right?
No, it's more targeted than that. It seems like it's all controlled through INSIC's workflow manager.
Ah, I see.
You can set it to trigger at specific points in a process, like when you onboard a new client, or if there's some initial suspicion about someone.
I see. Huh. That makes sense.
Keeps things efficient.
Right. Now, what about the cost? Is this something only big companies can afford?
Well, that's actually one of the interesting things about this. It's all transaction-based, so you only pay when you actually run a check.
Okay. So no big upfront costs or minimum purchases.
Exactly, you just pay as you go. And from what I've heard, the per-check cost is pretty competitive.
Makes it accessible to more organizations.
Right, so now to the really important part. What kinds of lists are we talking about here? This is where it gets really interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty comprehensive. They've got the EU lists. Those are directly from the Bundesanzeiger Verlag. And then there's a whole bunch of international lists categorized as DPL-US, DPL-U, DPL-UK, and DPL-JP.
So we're talking about some serious lists here, and within those categories are some big ones, right? Like the U.S. denied persons list.
Exactly. That one, the U.S. entity list, and then there's the U.S. specially designated nationals list. That's the one managed by OFAC, the Office of Foreign Assets Control.
Right, so all the major U.S. players are covered. What about other countries, though?
Oh, yeah, definitely. They've got lists from Australia, the UK, Japan, the AU-Australia DF8 list, the UK United Kingdom HMT list, and the JP Japanese end user list from ET. It's a pretty global set of lists.
Wow, as of September 2024 anyway, they might have even more now.
Right. It's constantly evolving.
So I guess the big question is, what's the real benefit here? Why should a business invest in this?
I think the main point is peace of mind. Knowing for sure whether someone is flagged as a risk, it gives businesses a way to protect themselves and make sure they're following all the relevant international regulations. Plus, it all happens in real time.
Right. Real time is key these days. So for our listeners out there, think about it this way. In a world where everything is so interconnected, you really got to stay ahead of the curve when it comes to risk. And being able to quickly check someone against all these lists is a powerful tool.
Absolutely. It changes how we think about trust and security in this globalized world.
Exactly. And having access to this kind of instant comprehensive data could really transform the way we approach risk management. It's something worth considering.
Definitely food for thought.